So I've already done a reaction to episode 1 of Ultraman Trigger, but here is my review of episode 2. I'm doing a review instead of a reaction because copyright is kicking my ass. So I did a poll and people agreed that a review would just be better. Probably just so I'd stop complaining about copyright. And this episode, I am going to be roasting the ever-loving crap out of Ultraman Trigger with absolutely no mercy whatsoever, no holds barred. I don't know if people are going to find it offensive. I don't know if they're going to find it funny. This is just my honest roast. In the reactions, I generally focus on being more like confused and being high energy and being stoked. But now that I've reacted to so much tokusatsu content, the confusion and the amazement are gone. So I want to try something new and just do an absolutely brutal roast. I'm going to think of every possible mean thing that I can say. But to be fair, I'm still going to give credit where credit is due. I'm not going to be completely heartless. I don't do a whole lot of roasts, so who knows how it'll turn out. In episode 2 of Trigger, we get to meet our cast for the first time. The first episode was just to get right into the action and get everybody hooked so that we'd sit through the introduction and the actual opening act. And we meet these characters, and I gotta say, I can't stand these people. Alright, so the first person we're introduced to is this chick. I immediately don't like her because she doesn't push her glasses up like a normal human being. Like twice in a row, she pushes her glasses up by punching her glasses up. No one does that in real life. It feels like she's like trying to emulate an anime character. That's something an anime character would do. In fact, I think there is an anime character who does exactly that. He's got like claws for hands, and he like pushes his glasses up with his palm because he's used to doing that because of the claws. I don't remember which character it is. Never mind, it's not important. But I already don't like her. That, and because she's just irritating for no reason. The next person we meet is the pilot, and good God, you thought the last person was trying to act like an anime character. This guy lives and breathes the Chunibyo delusion of a 14-year-old as a grown man. He has way too much energy and motion and not nearly enough acting talent to actually pull it off. Look at that smile. Look at that smile. He looks like he's in agony. His mouth is smiling, but his eyes are furious that he has to be in this. It's so stilted and forced and awkward. I can't stand his character. If you want to have a character with big expressions and over-the-top emotions, you got to get yourself an actor like Jim Carrey, where he can actually pull off the high-energy, highly animated expressions and movements and make it look good, make it look entertaining, make it look believable. When Jim Carrey has a meltdown, you believe he's having a meltdown. When he freaks out, you can believe that he's having a freak out. This guy looks uncomfortable. He looks like he does not want to be here. This is the character that distresses me the most about the show so far. And then of course you gotta have the mascot character. Honestly, like, the design is interesting. I like the idea of the sideways facing eyes, implying that it is a herbivore. And then he's got these, what are those, gills or some sort of apparatus around the neck. I think it's got an interesting design, but I don't like the fact that it's just this irritating, brightly colored mascot that just feels very clearly like it's just a child with a helmet and a hoodie. But to be fair, I'm biased against mascot characters. I almost never like them. And then, of course, every show needs a Lancer, the brooding loner who doesn't like the protagonist, who is inevitably either going to warm up to the protagonist and end up being his best friend, be a committed rival for the entire show, regardless of how little sense it makes for him to be a rival. Maybe he'll just become a out-and-out villain and join the bad guys because he never liked the protagonist anyway. Grrr. I never like these antisocial characters because they're given so much screen time, but in real life, people who are antisocial don't have friends. And that's for a good reason. If you want to have a brooding loner type and actually have it work, you would really want them to be a lot older, someone who's grizzled by war, covered in scars and tattoos, someone who's been through a lot, someone who immediately communicates that they have a reason to be bitter and jaded. But this dude looks like he's 22 and has never worked a hard day in his life. Why are you pissed? What's your excuse? And can I just say for a moment that the protagonist is so annoying. He acts like he's 10 years old, and he's so overly chipper. But again, you can see that his mouth is smiling far too much. So much you can see his gums. But look at those eyes. Look me in the face and tell me those are the eyes of the man who's actually having fun. Look at those eyes and tell me that he's just not completely dead inside. And then, of course, the love interest with no personality. No character to speak of, no interesting traits, just cute, and gets into a physical incident with the protagonist because of a misunderstanding, and it all gets immediately resolved with absolutely no stakes. And then, of course, she has to be the commander's daughter because drama or whatever. If you want to know why I hate this protagonist, this is why. He's telling a plant to smile. It is a plant, my dude. Get over it. Every time he's on screen, he annoys me so much. Why are you telling a plant to smile? Look, even if the plant was secretly intelligent the entire time, he doesn't know that. He's legitimately just trying to get a plant to smile. Also, the pilot, I know people who are like this, but I have two problems with this. One, people who genuinely channel all their negative emotions into a workout are toxic and annoying people. And number two, he is not nearly fit enough to pass as someone who solves all of his problems by working out. Look at those noodle arms and his baggy coat that's not even remotely filled out except in the midsection. Look how deflated his chest is. You cannot tell me that this is the health nut who works out all the time. He's so old and his eyes are so sad. He would have made a much better loner type, and they should have gotten someone a lot more fit and a lot younger to be the hyper energetic guy. And then, of course, it wouldn't be an anime if we didn't have the antagonist who just wants to fight for the sake of fighting. What a motivation. Never seen that before. Oh my god. Oh, he wants to fight because he enjoys fighting. Oh yeah, forgot about the guy. Who's the guy in the middle? What's his personality? Not having one? This comic actually looks really good, and it's only like $6. Comment below if you want me to review the comic, because the comic looks really good. I was having technical difficulties with the model, so I had to change it up real quick. This thing, I would make fun of it for looking fake and made out of rubber, but to be fair, that's pretty consistent with how Ultraman has been so far, so this isn't anything new. And instead of complaining that it's made out of rubber, I will instead compliment the design. I do like the spikes around the jawline. I feel like it gives you an idea of how this creature might feed. I can absolutely see its horns spiking prey. You could actually see this thing spiking like a land mammal and then drowning it underwater. So, aside from the fact that it looks fake, the actual design itself is cool. You can never go wrong with spikes. Spikes are always cool. Also, I can't really complain about its attacks. Beam attacks from the horn, electrical attacks from the tentacles. It all makes perfect sense. It's all pretty good. Nothing earth-shattering, nothing I haven't seen before, but hey, it's a classic. You can't go wrong with it. Where you can go wrong is, I'm not going to play the clip, but this woman reads this line like she's having an orgasm. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It's just so unnecessary. I figured out the problem. Also, full screen. This scene here is actually a lot of fun. The fight with the monster, with the lightning attacks from the horn, and the tentacles and bobbing and weaving. All good stuff. No complaints. This is a henshin belt and I will not be told differently. Why is a thunder monster hurt by thunder? It literally uses lightning as a weapon. Why would it be hurt? Is it an elemental monster or not? Make up your mind. Have some consistency. Get a better motivation. The fight between Ultraman and the monster guy is as much fun as you can have with two dudes in rubber suits duking it out. But I do gotta say, one thing that bothers me about this otherwise enjoyable fight is the fact that he karate chops a monster with spikes, and somehow that doesn't hurt his hand and instead hurts the monster. It's literally a porcupine. Karate chop a porcupine and tell me your hand is gonna be okay. Come on! The destructible environment, while by no means perfect, is still believable enough and fun enough to sell the moment. I don't actually know what these sets are made out of because they break apart too quickly to be like solid wood, and they shatter too much to be like plastic or cardboard. So I am actually curious what these sets are made out of because, while by no means Hollywood level, it does still look better than I thought it would. Using a ranged attack at point blank range to ensure that whatever you shoot gets hit, easily one of my favorite tropes. I know it's an overdone trope, I do not care, it's one of my favorites. I love it every time I see it, props to the show. I feel like there were better ways to make this shot than just a close-up of his crotch. We didn't need this angle, show, okay? We didn't need this. Stop. Although I do have to say, once he does start standing up and the smoke and the rubble is around him in this ring and the glowing eyes and the chest piece and the shoulder pads and the helmet, like, this is a really good design. In this particular moment, because the sort of smoke obscures a little bit of it and he's in the same tone, same color scheme as the city around him, this actually looks really good. I wish more shots in this series had composition like this, with the moody lighting and the glowing eyes and the smoke. It doesn't look like a dude in a rubber suit right here. Again, I feel like the shot choice in this show is a little bit sus. Why do we have a close-up of Ultraman's ass? I feel like we didn't need that. I actually really like this moment. The pilot asks the mascot character to translate the ancient alien language and the alien doesn't know. And I feel like a lesser show would have just had the alien mascot just automatically know this mysterious ancient language because it's an alien language. I feel like this actually adds a moment of realism to the mascot character and to the show in general, because there's no way he would know that language. Point to the show. Why would the Giant of Darkness want an honorable duel, though? Aren't you supposed to be evil? Fighting is literally this guy's only motivation, and I feel like you could do more with this character. The fight itself, though, pretty good. No notes, no complaints. This scene where the Giant of Darkness is just absolutely pummeling Ultraman into the building with the sparks flying and the chest punches, really satisfying to watch. Really well done. What? Is he despawning? Did he reach 0 HP? What? If the bad guy's just gonna leave because the good guy left, then the world is honestly safer without the good guy. I'm not crazy. If he's just gonna leave when the hero leaves, then bye-bye conflict. You should just leave. Ultimate strategy. Instant win. Does he really not have any objective? At all? Other than fighting this guy? Come on! How? Isn't it like alien magic technology? How would he have any idea how to replicate it? I feel like this scene right here where the loner guy expresses that he made the device so he could protect Yuna would have made a lot more sense if he expressed any interest in Yuna whatsoever before this very moment. Remember when I was complaining about the characterization earlier in the video? This is the stuff I'm talking about. Their introductions could have been handled better, and if they were handled better, this scene would have a little bit more impact. I swear on my life, if I hear this man say smile one more time, I'm canceling the entire review. Why are there solar lights attached to the wall? Because that's 100% what those are. These are like the lights that you would put in your garden at night. They have a little spike on the bottom. The tube is like a fluorescent tube, and then there's a little solar panel on the top, so it charges in the day and then displays light. Why is this here? Is it just some random garbage they added to make it look sciencey? Because I feel like most people know what this is. Like, imagine if they just plugged a toaster into the wall. Like, most people are gonna know that it's a toaster. Prop guy, up your game. It was never super clear why the fight stopped to begin with, so having it pick up randomly feels unnatural. You're impressed that he changed colors? First of all, you're an adult. Second of all, he's a giant superhero that fights monsters. Changing colors has to be the least impressive thing he could do. This is a stupid line. I am going to play a little bit of this clip here just because I think it's a really well done shot. It's a little bit dizzying, but other than that, I think it's really well done and worth showing. I'm going to show another real quick scene just because I feel like this shot here really sells the impact of the fight in a way that we don't see very often outside of anime. It's where the transfer of force goes beyond the target and into the surrounding areas. I think it's actually a really cool shot. Like, you can see the building explode before the enemy character goes through it. It looks like there's some like kinetic impact that went past the target and exploded the building first. And I think that's really cool. I love when I see that in anime. It looks really dope. Then they fight underwater. Interesting change of scenery. Moving through the environment to make the world itself feel a little bit more real. No complaints. This is all good stuff. It's really hard to see in this shot, but he splits the blade into two parts, and then instead of trying to impale his enemy, the two blades go around the enemy and kind of get embedded in his side, and he's able to use that to sort of maneuver the enemy around. It kind of reminds me of a sword catcher, which is a type of dagger with notches cut in it to like catch enemy swords. And I feel like that's a really smart move. That's just a genuinely creative mechanic for a sci-fi fantasy weapon. It's all good stuff, all good stuff. There's a lot of creativity here. It's all good. I do, however, have a problem with there being electricity underwater, yet it still stays concentrated in a ball instead of seeking the path of least resistance and coursing through the water towards the ground. I know, it's fantasy, it's magic, it's whatever, but come on, act like you're in water. The two of them like attack the ground with energy attacks. The energy then shoots up from the ground and crashes into each other. What is this supposed to accomplish? What is better about attacking the ground than just shooting your opponent directly? This is dumb. But because magic, I guess it works. The logic in this show is exhausting. Again, the dude just leaves. It makes the stakes of the show feel really low when the bad guy keeps ending the fight by leaving. Makes him a very annoying protagonist. Give him a motivation other than just wanting to fight, please. Give him something on the planet that he wants to destroy. Give him someone that he wants to find. Give him an object that he wants to steal. Something, anything other than, aha, I'm here to fight you. You're here to fight me. I'm here to fight you. Blah! We fight now. Oh no, I've been defeated. Run away. Ugh, it's exhausting. Come on. Make a better motivation. It's been an entire episode. I still have no idea what this guy's name is, what he does, or what his personality is, if he even has one. Why are you here? What do you do? I have no idea what's happening with this dude's face, but I am all for it. Who is this guy? What does he want? What is his motivation? And please, for the love of God, give him a motivation other than, I want to fight because fighting is what I do. This sudden bad guy makes me really interested and makes me want to watch the next episode. I feel like this is a good cliffhanger. I feel like the best cliffhanger you can have is introducing a new element at the very end that immediately piques your interest and then cutting. Because it brings up a lot of questions, and as long as you answer those questions in the next episode, perfect technique to get people to come back next week to watch the next episode. No complaints. Really well done for the ending. This is my favorite type of ending that gets you hyped for the next episode.